All right, so yesterday I was doing a consultation with a guy who was just, was telling me, hey, I'm about to have my fifth kid. I'm like 35 years old or something like that. And he was struggling with weight, obesity, health issues. And, it kind of reminded me of, something I was thinking about. I'm of course trying to help this guy out to help him to figure out how to, basically stop being a food addict is what the short term answer to that was, or the long term solution rather. And I was remembering, my childhood and my relationship with my father. And I remember distinctly a point, I was about 8, 9, maybe 10 years old or something like that. My dad, we were wrestling around. And for some reason, he just got me to where I was really mad, frustrated. And so I'd haul off and just punched him right in the nose. And it made him, his nose start bleeding. And so I think he split his nose. And I remember that moment thinking, wow, I felt bad. Of course, I felt very bad because I hurt my dad, who was kind of a hero to me. And you think about that. When you're a kid, your dad is often a superhero, or is supposed to be. I mean, you literally look up to your father. Are you supposed to? Many of us, unfortunately, don't have that situation. And I'm thinking, you've got 5 kids, and what kind of an example are you setting for these kids? Your kids don't think you're a superhero when you're obese and you're a cupcake addict. I mean, it just doesn't work that way. And I think that's a real problem as we see, what's happening with men across society. I mean, we have men that are becoming less important, I suppose. Some are completely absent, but some are not really perceived as anything other than the guy who lives in the house type of thing. And I think that's really sad. And I think, one thing you can do is to be a role model for your children. And this goes to moms too, but I'm specifically kind of talking about dads here. I think it is really our duty as males, as fathers, and I'm still a father. I mean, I'm nearly 60, getting close to 60 years old, but I still want my kids to think, hey, dad is a superhero. Dad is somebody that we can look up to and be proud of. And I think, that alone should motivate you. You think about all of us love our children, or we profess to, and we would say that I would do anything for my child. But the simple act of just taking care of yourself so you can be around longer and so you can model good behaviors for your children is not something you're willing to do. You think about that. For you guys that are men that have children, whether they're young or older children, think about what you're telling them by your behaviors. Not what you're telling them by talking to them, but what you're actually physically telling them by how you are. And I think that's an important thing. And I think, a lot of us are addicted to garbage, whether it's food or other things. And it just, it's just something that you need to fix. And I will tell you that having dealt with lots and lots of people with food addiction over the years now, you got to give up the junk, and you got to find something that works. And that's why I'm such a proponent of a carnivore style of diet, because it does the job in many cases. Now, there's other things you got to do, and there's other, it's not just eat a steak and you magically cure yourself of food addiction. But I mean, this is a start. This is a start of changing some of your physiology so that you can start to change some of those addictive psychological patterns that are there. And so, I know some of you guys who are watching me are already on board. You got the message. You're already taking care of yourselves. You're getting in shape. You're being an example for those around you. And kudos to you guys. Good for you. But this is for those people that haven't done that yet, or haven't made that journey, or haven't made that decision. I think it is so important, if not for yourself, for your kids. And if you don't have kids yet, or you have no plans on having kids, you're still going to impact people around you. And this is what we need to do. Instead of normalizing this, kind of patheticness that we have around, we need to normalize excellence. And that is, really the message. Normalize excellence. And I think that is something that, I just imagine a society where people weren't sick and depressed and obese and angry all the time, where they are, just a lot happier. You're going to be happier when, you're going to be happier when you give up the garbage. Trust me. I mean, this is something that, I've seen over and over again. Yeah, stuff tastes good, but there's other things that taste good and they're better for you. And there's so much more to life than just stuffing your face with the latest, whatever blue flavored, Captain Crunch Snicker bar flavored garbage. I mean, it's just insane. And the more, I've said this over and over, the more you eat this processed garbage, I mean, you basically just become completely dependent upon the system. You're dependent upon them for your food addiction. You're dependent upon them for the inevitable pharmaceuticals that follow that. You're dependent upon them for so much, because you're no longer a good example for your kids, and you're no longer capable of even making rational thought. A lot of times it affects our mind. Remember that this food, not only does it make our bodies sick, but it makes our minds sick. And so, this is just a call out to those guys out there. Let's change things. Okay, I want to, I'd love to see you guys in a comment talking about how this has either changed your life for the better, or what you think you're planning on doing. All right, guys. Hopefully it helps. You guys have a great one. We'll talk to you soon.